Before we go any further, I need you to stay with me till the end of this story, because what those bikers did next will restore your faith in humanity. And if stories that touch your heart matter to you, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You never know who might need to hear this today. The diner was quiet that afternoon, except for the low rumble of engines cooling in the sun. 5 bikers sat around a metal table, their heavy boots resting against chair legs, patches stitched across their backs. They looked intimidating: broad shoulders, weathered faces, long beards, tattoos winding down their arms. People in town whispered about them. Parents pulled their kids a little closer when they rode past. But when that little girl, no older than 6, with tangled brown hair and a faded pink dress, stumbled into their circle sobbing, the laughter at the table died instantly. The biggest of them, a man everyone called Bear because of his size and thick gray beard, leaned forward slowly. His voice, surprisingly gentle, asked, "Hey, sweetheart, who's beating your mama?" She could barely breathe between words. "My mama's boyfriend. He's hurting her. Please, please help." The men looked at each other. Something shifted in their eyes. Hardness turned to something else, something protective. Without another word, chairs scraped against concrete. Engines roared back to life. Bear carefully lifted the girl onto his motorcycle, settling her safely in front of him. "You show us the way," he said softly. The girl pointed down the road with shaking fingers. As they rode, dust spiraling behind them, Bear felt something heavy in his chest. Years ago, he had been a helpless little boy too. He remembered, hiding in a closet while his own mother cried in the next room. He remembered wishing anyone would come. Today, someone had asked him. They pulled up to a small, worn-down house at the edge of town. The front door was half open. Shouting echoed from inside. The little girl whispered, "That's him." Bear signaled to the others. No shouting, no chaos, just calm, controlled movement. They stepped inside. In the living room, a woman lay on the floor, trying to shield her face. A tall man stood over her, his hand raised again. He didn't get the chance to bring it down. Enough. The word wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Bear's voice filled the room like thunder before a storm. The man turned, sneering at first until he saw 5 solid walls of muscle and leather staring back at him. His confidence drained quickly. "You need to leave," Bear said evenly. "Right now." The man scoffed, puffing up his chest. "This ain't your business." One of the bikers, a younger guy named Cruz with sharp eyes and a scar across his cheek, stepped forward. "It became our business when that little girl asked for help." There was silence, the kind that makes your heart beat loud in your ears. The abusive boyfriend glanced toward the door, toward the men blocking it. He saw no fear in their eyes, no hesitation, only certainty. He grabbed his jacket and stormed out, muttering threats that no one believed. Bear immediately knelt beside the woman. "Ma'am, are you hurt badly?" She shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know who else to call." "You don't ever apologize for asking for help," Bear said gently. One of the bikers called the police. Another brought a glass of water. Cruz picked up the little girl and carried her to her mother, kneeling down so they could hold each other. When the police arrived, the bikers didn't leave. They gave statements. They made sure the man was taken away in handcuffs. And when it was done, Bear pulled a card from his pocket and handed it to the woman. "We meet at the community garage every Saturday," he said. "If you need help fixing anything, or if you just need people around, you come." Weeks passed. The woman, whose name was Elena, showed up that Saturday. Not because something was broken in her house, but because something inside her still felt fragile. The bikers weren't what the town thought. They ran a small charity out of that garage. They fixed cars for single parents. They delivered groceries to elderly neighbors. They raised money for school supplies. And they listened. Elena started volunteering. She brought homemade food. She laughed again for the first time in months. Her daughter, Lily, started calling Bear Uncle Bear. The town slowly began to see what was always there beneath the leather and ink: men who had once known pain and decided to become protectors instead of predators. But the real turning point came one evening when Bear found Lily sitting quietly on the garage steps. "You okay, kiddo?" he asked. She looked up at him with serious eyes. I was scared that day, she admitted, but I knew you would help. Bear swallowed hard. Why? Because you looked like the kind of people who don't let bad things happen. He had never thought of himself